How you doing? Welcome to the Weekly Scheme Podcast. It's your host, Mansa Musa Jr., and my co-host, Annette Gio. We are here with another episode 13, When is Enough Going to Be Enough? We're going to start with the first thing of business. We're on all platforms, the Weekly Scheme Podcast. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We have a group on there, and we also have a like page. We're also on Instagram, the Weekly Scheme Podcast. Just connect with us on that, and that is the first thing of business that we always start. Now, what we're going to get down to business with is something that most people don't like to talk about. I told you before, is about a lot of divide and conquer. And a lot of it is going on right now, and people are going to have to understand what type of time we are in and what is going on and what they're trying to do to us. And basically, it's just a divide and conquer when they put one...
Wait, when you say us, are you talking about a people, or are you talking about minorities that people are saying is being targeted?
First of all, it's minorities in general, and then it's everybody together. Because right now, there's an 85%, 10%, and 5%, which has no color involved at all.
How do you know that?
Because this is what I was taught, and I studied it for a long time. It's an 85%, which is the poisonous animal eaters, which eat pork.
I eat pork.
I know. Well, that's
so you're saying I'm a poisonous animal eater?
Yes, you are. And that's just a fact.
Okay.
And also, what I would like to say is that the 85% is the people that they're hard to move in the right direction and easy to move in the wrong. I mean, they're easy to move. They're easy to lead in the wrong direction, and you can't move them in the right direction for nothing.
Wait, that really sounds like a subliminal hit toward me. Was that a direct hit towards me?
No, it's actually
because I took offense to that.
No, you shouldn't take offense. I wasn't talking to you at all, but I don't know why you would take offense to it. But at the end of the day,
see my kid?
He really is back there. I don't know why he's back there. But what we need to talk about is something that happened on the 25th about a man that was...
I call bullshit.
That was murdered. What was bullshit?
I just... All right, this is my point. Are we talking about the guy with the knee on the neck thing?
Yes, that's the initial. That's the second one.
Okay, is that the one that happened on the 25th?
Yes.
I feel like this.
Feast on Royalty, what's up with you?
Hi. Okay, my own opinion. From what I saw with the officer on the guy's neck, I thought it was a little excessive. Yes, I agree. I think it was absolutely inappropriate, especially because he was cuffed. He looked old. He really didn't look like he was going to struggle that much. However, how do you know he died? How do you know he just didn't have like a California knockout where he thought he died, but he really didn't?
Because they put it in the news and they also put it in the paper that the man died.
They did?
And you actually saw him on scene dead. He was just laying there.
How do you know he was dead? How do you know it wasn't a California knockout? Because I'm just saying, if I'm a cop and somebody's taping me, I don't think I would be that like blatantly obvious that I'm just going to sit here and kill somebody on camera. I mean, that's just retarded. And yeah, I can understand that that's what they did. But I'm saying, if I knew I was on camera and I was going to be like, you know what I mean? Like, I would act the shit out of it. I'd be like, you know what I mean? I didn't know that he was dead though.
But the thing is that that's not what happened. See, that's called half looking at something, or not looking at something at all, and then making an assumption about something. Now, everybody that's seen it, and nobody, because there's people of all races that are upset about it. But the people that should be the most upset about it, and that we're talking about, the people I talked about in China before, blacks over there, and then look at it. It's happening right now.
Wait a minute. He later died. He didn't die right then and there. It says 4 Minneapolis officers are fired after a video shows one kneeling on neck of black man who later died. He didn't die right then and there, so he pulled the California knockout. He later died.
But I don't understand what's so funny about it, though.
It's not funny. I'm just saying he
Well,
didn't die
you're
on the
laughing
scene.
because they said either you laugh when there's something that's very tragic.
Well, I'm not laughing at him.
You're either uncomfortable.
I'm nervous.
Yeah, well, you don't need to be nervous. What I'm telling you is that they knew anybody that could put a knee on somebody's neck like that for an extended period of time and not know that man was over there fighting and saying that I can't breathe. I don't want to die like this. You're killing me. And then all of a sudden you just stop moving. What do you think happens?
I'm just saying, I think what they did was absolutely repulsive. Yes, I don't think they had to do that to him. I think it was obnoxious. But this article is saying that he did not die because of what the officer did. He later died. Now, I don't understand what caused him to be unconscious and start when they were trying to pull him up on the stretcher. Hey, Juddy. But
this is what I have,
I don't know.
and it has to be said. This is what I have a problem with a lot of people of the other ethnic background, which is white, Caucasian, is because you're not understanding and you can't look at it from a point of view because you're not put in that position. Which I said there was 85%, the 10%, and the 5% has no color, but that's poor. That's poor people that are catching it. But there's also people that don't have a mind or a mentality to understand, to say, hey, this is wrong. There's people out there that really like what happened. They like what happened. Of the opposite color. There's people that have the same color as us that don't care. And that's the point where I was getting upset about.
What do you mean as us? Because we're two different colors. Are you talking about yourself or me?
No, I'm talking about as a color. As a color. The people.
Well, you said color as us. Are you referring to us as like
us as a color, as a people?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
You meant us.
So when you say something like that, it's not sort of. It's knocking down the severity of what's happening because you don't have to deal with it. Now, if you go around and I say, hey, well, listen, they're like, well, listen, I drink. I'm like, well, I don't drink. And I start to come against you and say something bad about you because you drink and you've done nothing wrong. It's sort of the same type of thing. It's like, what did I do wrong? You know what I'm saying? It's us as a color that gets looked at crazy or something happens to us. And then we say, hey, it's a color. And then people get mad and say, well, hey, that happens to everybody. Well, why don't we see it all the time in the news? Why isn't it being taped? Specifically saying we have to tape this so we can show a certain thing that we're not looked upon like we're starting trouble, regardless if that dude started anything. He said they killed him regardless. That is the truth. It is the truth. They killed him regardless. So what I'm saying is regardless of, say he was combative.
He was combative. That's why they said that they used force.
But he was handcuffed and on his stomach.
But you got to understand, this isn't the first of stories that came out of Minneapolis. There's actually high-profile incidences, like going back to 2014. You have one in 2017.
But you say that for what?
2016 about officers and getting fired because of these high-profile cases where they're killing people.
Okay, but
deadly encounters between civilians and police officers.
Is it just being fired and nothing being criminally brought against these people, and they're doing this blatantly? Okay, this is what I got a problem with.
So what would you think? They should be fired, and what else? Prosecuted?
They should be prosecuted.
As in what sense? What should they be charged with?
And you don't want to know how I really believe.
I do. That's why I asked.
The way I believe that if you take a life, you should get your life taken.
Oh, well, I do agree with that. I do. The same way that they took your life. So I think that somebody should step on their necks and make them suffocate. However, there's a couple of problems that I have with this. They said that he later died.
But it could be caused from what he did on his neck, though.
Which is true. I think it was really obnoxious. Like, they could have, like, pushed down on his shoulder blades or something. Like, that obviously was obnoxious.
He wasn't moving at all.
I know. Well,
the only reason that he moved and was fighting against him when he had his knee on his neck is because he said, I couldn't breathe. He blatantly said, I don't want to die like this.
I didn't hear him say that.
You got to listen to it better. He says, I don't want to die like this. And the reason why most things I turn away from because I don't want to look at it It's because of that fact, because it's a shock factor to most people. And to me, it shocks me because at the end of the day, you want to be really ruthless. You want to be an asshole about it, because at the end of the day, if you can blatantly take people's lives like this, why should I care about your life? Because he blatantly look.
You should care about their life because cops are gonna kill your ass if you go after them.
It doesn't matter though. But what's the point is that somebody that initially that goes and does it. Like those people, I'm tired of people sitting on a curb and saying and taping stuff and not doing anything. Because let me get beat up real bad, and I know you're sitting there taping me.
Okay, it was a California knockout.
What?
It was a California knockout.
What the hell is a California knockout?
Don't you guys remember when we were kids, you used to hold in your breath and somebody would push on your chest and you would just like kind of like pass out?
Are you serious?
I swear to God, it was a California knockout. Look,
but what
he
the
was
hell?
unconscious. He didn't die because of his knee.
But what? Who said that?
It says right here. Later, the unconscious man.
Okay, so what did he die from then?
I don't know. Well, sure as
See,
hell didn't say.
I'm gonna tell you like this. You have the perspective that most white Caucasian people have.
Wait a second. Whoa. Let's go back. First off, I want to say this isn't a thing about color. When I saw this video, I was appalled. I think it was absolutely disgusting.
But it is color.
But the reason why I'm just trying to get down to the fact how he died has nothing to do with color. Has nothing to me doing with bread, white bread,
okay,
and that I think it's okay because they killed a black man. It was a white police officer. No.
But it doesn't matter. Do you see white people getting killed like this?
Hell no,
videos happening like this?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
So that right there is a point proven.
Oh, absolutely. I think y'all are definitely targeted.
We are targeted.
I agree.
But the point is that regardless, because there's many videos out there that show people getting killed for doing less than Caucasians do.
My point is, I just want to know how he died. What was the cause of his death? That's it. Does it have to do, like, would that make it right if they didn't die because of what they did to him? Absolutely not.
But that's the way you're making it sound, though.
No. I know they killed him. I understand that. But the thing is, they said, I'm just trying to understand in my brain how, like, what was the cause of death? Obviously, it caused him to become unconscious and pass out. I got that.
Okay, so if I start to put my knee on your head, do you think people are going to care about me saying, hey, how she died later on?
I just wanted to know.
Yes or no?
It wasn't a white or black.
No, yes. It's a yes or no answer.
What was the question?
If I took my knee and put it on your neck.
Which you have.
Okay, listen. And they put it on your neck. I'm being serious. Okay. You're playing around and I'm not playing because this is not a funny subject to me. And I told you before we came on live and you're still doing it.
I just don't understand why you think I'm saying it.
But you have a perspective how most Caucasians have it. It's not funny until y'all start dying like that and getting beat up like that.
First off, I agree with you what happened. Because the thing is this. They were saying he was combative.
You're saying you're agreeing with me, but what you're saying
I just want to know how he died.
It doesn't matter. He got his ass kicked.
Because he was fighting the cops, though.
But it doesn't matter. He was not combative at the time that he was getting put a knee on him for 2 to 3 minutes.
I agree. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here.
I don't want to hear about a devil's advocate. That's the purpose why people get mad. And that's why a race war is going to start because of the way you're looking at it. Your perception is so fried. It's ridiculous.
All right. Can I defend myself? First off.
You can defend yourself always.
I think what they did to him was absolutely obnoxious. It was all right. So I understand that they felt they had to use like additional force on him because he was being combative.
No, it's called excessive.
Excessive force, excuse me. But when you have a man on the ground, handcuffed, that basically isn't doing anything, they had no reason to put his knee on his neck like that. That was obnoxious.
On his stomach. Not a back, because a back you can kick your feet up.
It was on his neck.
No, I'm saying he was on his stomach.
Oh yeah, he was on his stomach. Absolutely.
So how many moves can you make being on your stomach?
You can't make many.
Oh.
So that's what I'm going to say. If they were trying to pin him down or something, I don't even think they should have had to pin him down at that point. So what I think happened was obnoxious.
No, that's wrong. Now, if somebody's combative.
No, he didn't look very combative to me.
No, you don't know. Now, this is the problem that I had with a lot of stuff that people say of all colors. Now, if he was combative,
yes,
there's rules that they have to follow to stop somebody from being combative. No color involved, right or wrong.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if he was combative for whatever force that you needed to use to subdue the man, to get him under control.
There was 4 of them beating on him?
It's fine. It's fine. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Look, it's fine. But when you're done and they're subdued and you're still using physical harm and force to somebody, is ridiculous. That's like me handcuffing you on the ground and I start kicking you and doing something and you can't even protect yourself.
Wait a second. There was 4. He's saying that there was 4 people pinned. So there was one in his neck and on his back. There was 4 of them?
No, we got to do these comments. I'm telling you what, you're going to see.
Right, hold on.
All right, here we go. We got to go all the way back up. All right, that's dirty.
It is. I would say it is a hate crime. I agree with Kaz.
Now, Haas said they killed. Juddy said, "Good evening, folks. Good evening to you, Juddy." Then Haas said they killed him regardless. That is a fact.
I just want to know how he died, though. That's all it is.
It doesn't matter. We're not looking at that.
Right. But I just wanted to know if they were trying to say that he died as a result of this or right then and there. It's not right then and there he died. Not saying that's to justify anything. He
said himself, "I cannot breathe."
I know, I heard that.
So why would he make something up like that just to what? To move around in cuffs? Okay, so from that point of view and from that thing you're looking at, you're saying, "Ho, something ain't right." That's what you should look at. It should alert you and say something's not right. And you shouldn't go, "Well, why would he die later on?" It doesn't matter. The point is what we're looking at, cause and effect. What were you doing to him?
I wasn't asking that to try to justify if it was okay or not. I
but
was
that's
just asking honestly how he died.
But that's the way it looks. And that's the way most Caucasians make it look. And it ruffles people of color's feathers because they're like, "Why are you?"
All right, let me just say, I apologize if I ruffled anybody of color's feathers. I wasn't trying to say that it is justified if they didn't kill him right then and there. I just wanted to know if he died on the scene right then and there, or if he died later. That was all I was trying to ask. Because apparently he was knocked unconscious. Not saying it's okay, but I just wanted to know if that was the reason for the death, which I assume.
It was told that he died before he even got to a hospital. He died on the scene.
Oh no, they said that he later died.
Because and that's the media and the propaganda that they're pushing right now, because they got to find a way to undo what they just watched. This fool. It was a cop.
This was a 5-minute video.
This was a cop with a badge. This was a cop with a badge. And this is what people are not understanding. It's a cop with a badge. So he has free lane to do whatever he wants, regardless of the color. Okay? But it was a white cop that whatever they did to subdue him, there was a person taping it.
Yes.
And the man was saying blatantly, "I can't breathe." So when you're getting your life taken, that's why a lot of people say, "Well, hey, they went to heaven, they went to hell, they went." Well, hey, what type of evidence do you have that people are coming back and saying that, "Well, this happened to me"? That man had no evidence. That man just died. Regardless if you call it a California knockout, whatever, that man went unconscious. That's a fact, an actual fact.
Right.
Okay, that's an actual fact. But he died before he even got to a hospital.
Because of this.
Because of what that man did to him. Because you got to understand, when people are trained as policemen.
Well, let's just completely forget the whole fact that he died. Let's just because that is important. But right now, the whole focus is what they did. Whether it killed him or didn't kill him, they didn't have to do it.
This is what I'm about to say to you.
They didn't have to.
They're trained. These are trained policemen. Now, if they're not important, they wouldn't send them to an academy. They wouldn't train them ruthlessly for them to be out to come out into a public or a community and police it. That's why they put them through so much training, because you have to do certain things and abide by certain rules with people, regardless of color. This is what they say, regardless of color. And they're not abiding by the rules that they set up. And they're killing people of color at a rate that's far beyond people that are Caucasian.
I agree.
Because Caucasians don't get handled like that. And it's just a fact.
Like, look what happened in Michigan. Like, they came with all those rifles and what was that?
That's why you see my picture up there.
What the heck are they called? Bulletproof vests and everything, and stormed
and yelling in people's faces.
They didn't do anything.
And they were sitting there like this.
I agree. Now
it's a difference.
Now I do agree with what Haas said too. It's a Frederick. I do agree. I do agree.
Jody said the thing is, if you can't see how mass shooters are treated versus a black man who is combative but unharmed, mass shooters get non-lethal force and taken to Burger King to eat.
She's right.
She's
right. She's right. She's right. Now let me ask you a question.
And then Haas said it's a federal. We gotta get these comments out. Wait,
I agree.
It's a federal hate crime, and I believe that Haas is right 100%, 100%, because it has to be looked at. Because if we do it and start hunting people, it'll be a hate crime now.
Now, see, Feast on Royalty. I'm going to tell you, there are a certain percentage of people that do think that if you disobey the police, you deserve it. Now, me, I watch live PD almost every single day,
yes, you do.
Like nonstop. I think that stuff is obnoxious. Like if somebody does something to them or they think they're going to do it and they spray them in the face and they tase them and everything, I think that they go completely overboard. So a lot of the police, remember that lady? He was trying to say that she kicked him and all she did was like push him aside and said, "What are you doing to my son?" He like tackled her and tased her.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And that was white on white.
Yeah. Well, white on white trash.
No, but at the end of the day, but white trash, when you say white trash, that's poor. That's why I said it's an 85%, a 10%, and a 5%. But to get off what you want to get off on something, you have to make up a fake thing to move it around so you could do it. Because
but you don't think that they're not targeting people that are like lower class, if you will? Like you don't see them like going after like, you know, people that are supposed to be paying their taxes and you know, have a good job or this and that. It's the people that are like lower on the totem pole that they try to push around. They do. Like the people you see they're drinking or this, that, they do that.
That is true.
I mean,
but there's people that are high up on the totem pole that get handled too.
They do, but you know what? You don't hear about that because they got lawyers and attorneys that can fight people.
Now that's
so what
the
they
key.
do exactly.
There you go.
So they basically bully people that have no voice in a sense.
Exactly, but it's not they have no voice. They do have a voice, but they can't stay together long enough to even want to do something.
Well, the thing is this, Feast on Royalty say that they did fire the 4 cops. Why did
they did fire them? Yes, they did.
But I think that and that's it. They're just going to get fired and that's the end of it.
No, they better not do it like that.
That's probably all that they'll do.
FST Gado TV, regardless of color, if the police did wrong, they should pay for the injustice. Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. But I don't think that all they're going to do is make them lose their jobs and that's it. They're not going to charge them or anything.
Yo, look what Haza, he said, I seen videos where white dudes was fighting cops and guess what? They still alive. And then he said it's bad when other countries are starting to feel bad for Black Americans. And that's the point that people aren't understanding is not to feel bad, because the point that makes me upset is that we don't even react to what they're doing. So if I reacted, say that video was being taped, and I reacted and I started fighting the cops and I got killed, what do people want to do? Now it's going to be 2 people dead and nobody's still doing nothing. People talking crazy and they still ain't doing nothing. But if people turned around and started shooting cops like that, and then it would be ones that don't do nothing. Look how they play. Now, what if it's the ones that go in communities and they don't do nothing to nobody? And they treat people fairly and they do their job the way they're supposed to do it. And then something like this happens where they got cops with killers with badges and they do something. This is
a trend though. This is a trend in Minneapolis. In Minneapolis, I can't even say it today. I know it's all over, but I'm saying this is like they have a lot of high profile deaths out of this state. I mean, it is happening all over, but look, they had one for 2014, 2016, 2017. And what are they doing? They're just firing the cops and that's the end of it?
Yeah, they fire. Yeah, because you got to understand, they had, Minnesota never got the pop. Minnesota never got the pop until they had 50 Tyson. Okay? People were getting killed out there. You're not going to know what I'm talking about, but a lot of people know it. They've been getting killed out there for a long time. but nobody says anything
but
or
that's
does
what I'm
anything.
saying. A lot of these high profile cases are coming from that one state. That's why I don't understand why they're just saying, okay, 4 of you attacked this man, you guys were using, what is it, excessive force, and all we're going to do is fire you, and that's the end of it. So all these cops do in all these different cases,
well, most
they
of
just
them,
get fired, and that's the end
most
of
them get their job back.
I heard that.
And most of them get their job back, to be honest.
I did hear that. But what's sad is you have this. You have the mayor talking about how he saw 5 minutes of it. You have all this, and nothing's happening because all they do is, oh, you get fired.
Oh, no.
Okay,
It is
so then
happening.
how do you fight against it?
They got to start dying.
No.
Regardless if people like what I say or not. People that do that, not the good ones, the people that do it, they should die right there when they're doing that bullcrap. Because how can you be taping something and you watching somebody lose their life? Dude, I'm not even built like that.
I think they should go to jail.
I would snap,
I think they should
regardless if I die or not, or if I have fear in me or not. That is bullshit.
What is manslaughter?
That you can, manslaughter is when you like, manslaughter is like, say I get drunk. And me and you get in a car and I get in an accident and you dying. I'm getting manslaughter because I murdered you. I didn't do it purposely, but you still died in the act of me being reckless.
Okay, so then
that's
I think
manslaughter.
that they should get tried for manslaughter.
Why?
Because they killed him in the act of being reckless.
No, but then he knew what he was doing. He sat there for minutes holding it when people were telling him.
Well, that's what you just said. You said manslaughter was because I died in the act of
no,
being
if we're
reckless.
friends, and we get in the car and you're like, hey, you drive.
So then what would you call it, first degree or second degree?
If I accidentally kill you and say we're both tore up, I think it should be like second or third degree.
Well, no, I'm talking about the officers that killed him. What would they get?
That should be first degree. Because not all of them. I think the dude that had his knee in his neck, but I seen a picture that I showed you. Remember I showed you it? And when you see it from the other angle, there's actually 3 cops on them.
Yeah, that's what they said.
There's actually 3 cops. It wasn't 4. It was 3 on them. So it was one on his neck. Oh. There was one on his mid back, and there was one on his feet. So dude couldn't actually move. So when we seen him with the 1 cop on him and he was moving, that was actually his instinctive nature making him move that cop around, because the cop had to keep holding his hand to wrestle on the car because the dude was moving so much because he was fighting for his life. There's a difference when you're fighting for your life and the force that you're moving with. That dude was actually moving that cop and he was putting his hands on there, and we only seen that 1 cop and he was moving him. He probably actually was moving all 3 of those cops because he was fighting. He didn't want to die like that.
My thing is, when they have a case like this, doesn't internal affairs come in and they investigate?
Yeah, but already from the door, the FBI is already on it.
Yeah, that's
they don't want internal affairs. But we've seen this. We've seen it numerous times, and nothing ever happens.
Nothing is going to happen.
Well, hey, well, I
mean, they're not. I mean, how would you get something to happen? All they did, they didn't come in. They really haven't even finished their investigation. When did this happen? On the 25th? Yesterday?
Yeah, I think it was the 25th.
It happened yesterday. All they did was they haven't done their investigation. All they did was fire him. So obviously they're just trying to brush it under the rug and not get all the facts and find out what happened, so they can, try to prosecute him. They're not.
But I'm gonna tell you. They're
just
something.
Gonna fire him and think that's the end of it.
The thing that you got to understand is, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, he said, when you go and do something to somebody, there's a thing that comes back to you.
Oh, yeah, I believe.
So if you don't fight for your own rights, you're just going to keep getting murdered. That's why nobody's doing nothing. Those people that, this is what I believe. People that tape it should be charged too if you don't help.
That's what I was saying. Can't you call the cops on the cops? Like, I'm serious. Like, I mean, granted, they were saying get off that man's neck, but I think that they should get charged because they're sitting there taping. I mean, granted, for
that wasn't the cops, that was just people, regular people.
I know it was regular people, but I'm saying I would call the cops on the cops. Like, you need to come out here because there's cops killing a guy and bring out more.
How?
Well, I'm saying, what would you expect them to do?
But from what perspective are you coming with that?
My thing is this: if I am an innocent bystander and I'm going to tape it for records so that somebody can be held accountable for what they did, but what are they supposed to do? jump in and get met with the same kind of force that they're doing to that guy and endanger their lives. At least they're giving him justice.
You'll kill me out there.
Exactly, but at least they're giving him some kind of justice by tape recording so they can see what happened to him. But I will call the cops.
But we've seen the taping going on for numerous years, and nothing's happening.
Well, they're trying to
but still, people are worried about China and the blacks being treated over there. Now, you know what's so funny? It's because when I say something, it comes full circle. Everybody bitches and everything about that, but I heard 2 people on social media that were really bitching about this and were upset, and it's the same people that always do it. Walter Hudson's one of them. He always says something, and but you know what the difference between Walter Hudson is and a lot of these people? He puts the work in. He goes out there. He gets arrested because you know why? Because he don't like it, and he knows it's an injustice, and he's going to go out there, and regardless if it puts his life in danger, and he has children, he still goes out there and does it regardless.
Well, like you see what they say. It says here these cases are hard to prosecute because the cops immediately start to cover things up. I think, what if we can prosecute them based on what the video says and not have to do that whole investigation?
When has that happened?
I'm saying that's what I think should happen. I mean, what do? You
but who are the people? But who are the people that are judging us as our peers?
What do you mean?
Who's judging us when we go say that we do make it out and we don't die? Who's judging us? Caucasians. The same people that are killing us over there are judging us and saying, "Hey, you're wrong. You're going to go to jail." And you're like, "Dude, I got."
Oh, you're talking about the court system.
Yes, the court system. That's why I tell people it's cause and effect. This system was built off of white supremacy. It's a fact. I don't care who gets mad at it or what they say about it. It's just a fact.
I can't say anything. I really can't.
Because, you can't because
if you look at the facts. I mean, like I said, when they
and we've actually argued over this. Me and you have actually argued and not talked for days over this.
We did about that Walmart thing. That's the only thing we did because you took it out on me and said that I was white privileged.
No, I said you're dealing from white privilege.
No. You're
dealing for white privilege, and white privilege is actually something that you can't see. It's just inbred in you.
No, that conversation was completely. That was because if you're going to do, granted, do I think that you should, tiptoe around? No, but if you know that there are people out there, you know that they're gunning after you guys, and you go into the cracker redneck store that you possibly can, Walmart, and you're walking around with a gun on your shoulder that you just purchased, and you're black, African American, whatever, you don't think that the white people are going to call the cops on you and they're not going to come in with a SWAT team? That's what I'm saying. You need to protect yourself. Granted, you shouldn't be in an environment where you have to feel like that. I understand that. But me as a Caucasian person, granted, I probably wouldn't have been as targeted like that guy was, but I wouldn't walk around with a gun on my shoulder. In today's day and age, no, I'm sorry. But no, I think I don't have anything to say. I mean, the facts just line up. You don't see this kind of stuff.
And then look, it said,
you don't.
Jody said he had no reason to lie. If he can't breathe, just switch up the hole to one where he can breathe. Exactly.
Like I said, maybe on his they shouldn't even did that. They had 3 people on him. I mean, come on, where was that man going to go?
And Feast on the Royalty said these cases are hard to prosecute because the cops immediately start to cover up, and no matter what they snip, they won't say. Yeah, it's called oh man, what do they call it? It's the badge of honors. I think it's a blue badge of honor. I'm thinking that's what it is. Where they're not supposed to tell them, and if they do, they're supposed to handle the people on their own, like their own people, like that. But what people don't understand is that when they got Caucasians and blacks that are mixed in the police, when it used to be that we actually policed our own neighborhoods, where Bloods and Crips came from, to where we didn't allow
and the mafia, the
people to come in. Well, the mafia did their own thing. The mafia never protected us. They did their own neighborhood. And if you see after decades of them implementing what they want, they get respect. They might get locked up because that's what it is. It's a cat chase mouse type of world, but they know that they ain't just gonna do whatever they want to them. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
But they had to ingrain that you're not gonna come in here and do what you want.
Well, you got to figure they had people bought off and all kinds.
But it don't matter. They still got around to where they not getting murdered like that. They not. And if you come and murder them, they're gonna murder your whole family. They'll be in a trash heap, and that's just the way they are.
I love Italians.
But you got to understand that's what they had to implement.
Oh yeah,
you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it to Chinese people that come here. You're not going to do it to Korean. You're not going to do it to any other, whatever you want to them. If you go to a Korean, no, well, not a Korean, but go to Chinatown.
Asians are the only ones that I never see on my cop shows. You don't really, well, I mean, you hear about them. People have been doing this like stuff.
Why not? Why don't you hear about it? And that's what you need to ask yourself.
Maybe they just don't get in trouble.
Feast on the Royalty said, plus prosecutors work hard. He said, plus prosecutors work hand in hand with these cops. They don't like to charge them because then they have to go back and review all those other cases. Yeah. So once you're behind the 8 ball, Feast on the Royalty, once you're behind the 8 ball, why care? Now that shows why people are dealing with it.
Okay, so the point is this. We know that the prosecutors and the cops all work hand in hand. That's the kind of things that the prosecutors, go after. Investigations done by police, raids, different kinds of things.
Yeah.
So how are you going to address this? Based on the video with no investigation and let the video footage speak for itself? Or do you open up this big investigation where they're going to be able to hide evidence? I personally think that they should fire him, go off the footage, not have any kind of who said, she said, whatever investigation, and he should get prosecuted. I don't care if he's a cop or anything.
But they don't prosecute their own.
That's what I'm saying. So how do you get them to do that? What do you do? Sign a petition?
Listen.
Outraged?
Okay, no. First of all, we're done with marches. This is people, the black people. The marches are done. Everything, you have to start sticking up for yourself. Now, this is why, if you look at it,
you can't stick up
if somebody,
they'll kill you. You can't stick up for yourself.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
They'll kill you.
Who cares?
I wouldn't want to die.
Let it be a chain reaction.
They'll kill you.
This is what people are scared of.
It is true.
What are you scared? What are you scared to catch a bullet? What, in the face, in the chest, and it hurt, and then you got to release your.
No, I'm scared of dying for no reason. For them to be able to say, "Oh, well, we felt our life was in danger," and then when they do their stupid investigation, they'd be like, "Okay, there's no charges brought against the police officer because we felt that they acted the way that they should have, properly or whatever." And guess what? My death goes. I died for no reason. I have no cause. I have nothing.
And that's exactly what can happen.
That's my point. That's why I would not let them do something to shoot me. I would kind of obey what they had to say. Granted, do I think if we're walking on the side of the road and cops pull us over, they're not going to hassle you more than they're going to hassle me? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm not just saying this because you're sitting next to me. Do I think that black people are targeted more than white people? Absolutely. If y'all rolled up on those steps in Michigan or whatever with rifles and friggin' bulletproof vests, a lot more would have happened as opposed to what they didn't get in trouble.
No, they didn't get in trouble.
They let them go. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, you guys, they would have brought a SWAT team, bomb squad. You guys would have been done. Do I think that there's white privilege? Absolutely. Do I think what this guy did was right? No, absolutely. I do not.
But as you're saying this, but do you see? Because this is what we're going to do when we're wrapping it. Because I got to take the emotions out of it. Now, the way you're talking.
Yes.
Now, let's just say that it doesn't. Let's just say that the dude gets prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and everything happens. Let's just say that happens. Once you do that, it's called opening Pandora's box. That's why they never do it. Because once they do it, they have to abide by that consistently. That's why they never do it, and they continuously kill them. Because they're like, they don't do nothing to us when we kill them. So why would we prosecute our own and put them behind bars or even give them the death penalty when they don't even force us to do that.
I'm saying just because you have a badge doesn't mean that you should go out and be able to do whatever the hell you want. And you have Big Brother checking your back and being like, oh, it's okay. You acted within reason. It's okay. They need to be held accountable. Obviously, they're gonna keep doing what they want to do.
But they're doing it regardless.
That's my point. That's why they need to be prosecuted and not on some.
But when?
I don't know when. It's getting worse and before
so
it's
what
getting
do you
better.
think that needs to be done to make this even stop? From your point of view.
I think that instead of them doing an investigation
Mhm.
and talking to everybody and whatever, they should stop saying, oh, they acted within reason. And I think that they should be judged, well, not judged, but you look at the footage. I don't want to hear what you have to say.
They are being judged. It's judged by a jury of their peers.
You had 4 people or 3 people on this guy. This guy obviously wasn't going anywhere. If he started squirming, whatever, you did not need to put your knee in this man's neck. You didn't have to. He was down. Everybody had him down. You just were being an excessive asshole. And I think that he should get charged for it. I do not know anybody that's going to look at that and say, you know what, I think he acted within reason. The mayor even watched it and said he watched a whole 5 minutes of this. A whole 5 minutes. And I think that you should let the film speak for itself. And I think she should get charged.
Though. It's been doing it for years.
I know it's been doing it for years, but it's getting worse.
Okay, so what has to happen for it to stop?
I don't know.
Because evidently, what you just described, it's not helping it.
That's what I'm saying. It's not helping it. It's getting worse. So if it hasn't gotten better and we have not come to a conclusion of what we can do to make it stop, how are you going to do it? It's getting out of control.
So what are you trying to make me do?
I'm going to lock you in the house.
Do people have to
not let you go out?
No. Do people have to actually just snap?
Sadly, yeah, and there's going to be a lot of unnecessary deaths.
We're dying anyways.
I know, but still.
But who can step up to the plate?
I don't know.
And let this flesh. Who?
Trump.
Man, this is the world that Trump wanted.
It's really sad.
You know what Trump wanted? You want to know something? And I'm going to be blatant with it. And I don't care who likes it or not. When he says make America great again, this is what he's talking about. I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry. Because this is what he really means by it. When Caucasian, I'm going to say what people don't want to say to Caucasians. Caucasians, when they say that, when they say, well, hey, this is the way, this is what they mean by making America great again. They want it to be where it's prejudiced and it's divided.
I don't want that.
It don't matter. The ones that want it, they want it.
You know, I don't know what the hell the point is. I don't know why they still want to be prejudiced because, to be honest with you, white people are the minority. There is not 100% clean-cut white person out there. Look at my kids. I don't want to be prejudiced. My kids are half Spanish. So, therefore, show me a 100% Caucasian person. We're the minority. So they're trying to salvage it and save it so much that maybe that's what they're doing. But the point is,
they're scared that we're going to do what they did to us.
It's getting worse. There's
a lot of stuff that comes with it, and it's a lot.
How would you fix it?
I think separation.
I was going to say that you can govern yourselves.
No, separation, and we need to be away from them because you will kill yourselves.
Separation. What do you mean?
Separating. Black people and white people do not need to be in the same area.
That is the dumbest thing I've
Why?
ever. So then me and you would have to separate?
No. Love supersedes everything. We already did what we did.
So what are you going to do? Have blacks, whites, and then the biracial people over here in the middle?
No, ones that already have done it and that are together, they can stay together. They're fine because we allowed Caucasians to come among us anyways.
Oh, so like Elijah and Alania, they haven't had an interracial relationship, so they got to pick a side, black or white. What if you're mixed and you're half black and half white? What side do you pick?
They got the worst problem. That's a shame. That's a shame for them.
Wait a minute, I'm so confused. You want to divide us? You want to divide?
No, I think black people should be separated from white people for this to stop.
And to go where?
Our own territory of our own. And y'all can have your own
this
stuff.
Ain't the last of Mohicans. That ain't gonna solve shit. Like,
yes,
what are you gonna do? Give you an island?
Once we fight for, if we have our own land, and
you can't be divided.
Yes, we can. Who said we can't?
Because there is
This is another topic that I'm bringing up right now. How you like that? When they say make America great again, that's exactly what they mean. I know. I'm telling you. Yes. Feast on royalty. I'm telling you, you're 100% right.
So you're saying, like Justine said, like Chinatown has a Chinatown. You should say that they have these little sectors, like the Chinese with the Chinese.
No,
but that's what I'm saying.
No, we should actually have territory.
Fully black person that can go over here. There's no full white person that can go over there. I can't do it. My kids can't do it.
No, it don't matter.
So
the
what
Nation
sector
of Islam
do they go to? Do they go to the white
nation
side, or do they go to the Puerto Rican side? You can't. There's so much. People's nationalities are so entangled now. You can't say you go here and you go there. You can't do it.
Yes, you can. People can make their own choices. We're not saying you have to do it. You can stay wherever you want. We're not forcing anything. There's no compulsion in religion. Compulsion means that we're not forcing anything upon you. Now, if we say, hey, we got our own territory, do you want to come over here? You can willingly come over there.
Well, I'm open to suggestions because obviously this is getting worse as opposed to better. But I really think that would be a very intricate plan that you would have to have major rules set in place to figure.
Oh, there's already major rules already set for it.
Are you going to start this little land?
No, we're gonna figure it out when they finally give it up. But they don't want to give it up. They didn't even want to give up 40 acres and a mule. It's just a fact. And you know what? And this
the only thing I can think of is this land.
Yeah, you want to know something?
Wait, Justine wants to have a farm and help people, teach them how to cook and stuff. Justine, you can start it.
This is how I'm gonna wrap it up. But you want to know something? Now peep this out.
I think they should get
prosecuted.
She said that they're making $1,100 a week on unemployment. They're fine. I think that they should look at the video and that's it. And they should get a lot more
this is key. Hey, Juddy, you know what? This is why I started the Weekly Scheme podcast, because we like to deal with stuff over here that people don't like to deal with, and race and
but you called me prejudiced when I was dealing with it because I thought it was a California knockout because I just wanted to know if he died right there.
I never called you prejudiced. You just made up something that I never said to you. I never said that to you.
You said that
think about what I said.
We're gonna go back, but it was something along the lines that you thought I was thinking it was funny.
I said white privilege.
But that's the same thing as being prejudiced.
No, it's not. It is not. It's two separate things. It is not.
It kind of is on the same lines.
Well, when you say kind of, that means that you're not 100% sure.
Prejudice is me saying, I don't like you because you're black, and I think I'm holier than thou because I'm white and you're beneath me. That's the same damn idea as white privileged. In my mind.
Being racist, that's not even the key. Remember why I always tell you to look up a word? I said because your idea of it might not be what it really is.
Does anybody else think that prejudice and white privilege are kind of on the same guidelines? I do.
I don't know.
And I can say it.
I know we're going on 50 minutes, but listen.
We got nowhere.
Oh yeah, we did.
Well, what are we gonna do to solve the problem?
No, but listen, when is enough going to be enough? This is going to be a serious, because this is a problem. And if you look at it, when I say divide and conquer,
that's the problem. People are already dying in this, and they're not doing anything. So conquer. What else do you need?
This is a move that they're using to start a whole bunch of stuff up more, because they can't use COVID no more because people are catching on to that. And they're going to use it to use something to bring something in. They're bringing something behind. Trust me when I tell you, because I've been right. And I'm sorry, and this is not egotistical. I've been right about a whole bunch of stuff, but people don't want to listen. Trust me. Trust me. I'm telling you. It has to be talked about, but nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody knows the real history. And people are just talking out of their ass because they just want to talk. But when you
Is that me? Are you referring to me?
No, this is people in general. Why do you keep getting... you must...
Because I'll tell you what. Because when I was in the beginning, you thought that I was thinking funny and that's what's wrong with people. I was just trying to figure out how he passed out. So everything that you say, because you are obviously black and I'm obviously white, and there has been a time where you thought I was white privilege, I think that everything you say is
You do use white privilege.
I do?
Yes.
How?
You do.
Give me an example.
What?
Give me an example of how I feel like I'm white privileged.
Oh man, that's another episode.
Oh dear Jesus, no, I just want one.
No, it's just that's another episode.
You got these people on here that are going to be thinking, you know what?
He said, look, feast on word. White privilege is not the same.
It kind of is though.
No, it's not.
Why?
Why?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, because you understand that white, well, granted, it is two separate things, but that whole white privilege mentality is that whole I'm better than you. And usually prejudice is I'm better than you. I don't like your race. That's the whole thing that in my mind, like I said, with white privilege. Now, I'm going to tell you, for the record, whoever's watching this, I can prove to you right now that you know damn right well I don't think I'm white privileged, because you, black power all the way, you wouldn't be with me if you thought I was on some white or privileged bullshit. And keep it a bean.
No, that's a lie. It
so
doesn't
you tell
matter.
me if I was in here on some white privileged bullshit, you would stick around?
No, you've done it. But how can you listen? If you use white privilege and you don't know that you're using it, how can you say anything to me when I'm saying it?
White privilege is basically thinking that I can get away with more shit than you can get away with just because
so you don't know, so that doesn't happen?
No, what do I do? Why try to get away with it?
No. Does it happen? Yes or no?
With me? Well, then obviously I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly, because it's ingrained in you. You wouldn't know. If you kept going to me and you kept saying that all black cats, if they walk on my path, it'll give me bad luck for what? Just to say it?
It'll give you bad luck for 10 years.
Okay. Now, have I been living with a black cat?
Yes.
Has it happened?
No.
Oh, now it's another world.
So confused.
Yeah, you better get confused.
Can you just give me an example?
It's stigmas.
Can you give me an example of white privilege?
Okay, now.
Of how I feel like I'm white privileged?
Okay, now, this is white privilege. Now, and this is why if you look at my...
Not white privilege, white privilege.
Listen what I'm saying. If you look at the thumbnail that I did, it was a whole bunch of different things that happened within the last, what? You could say 6 months. I could say 90 days. It was all in it on the thumbnail. Now, white privilege is a thing like what you see in every single little square that I put in there on that thumbnail is white privilege. Because we couldn't do it.
All right, let's ask you this. What's the difference? What is your definition of white privilege and being prejudiced?
Okay, white privilege would be basically what you can do. Watch this. I'm going to show you something better, even better. I'll show you something even better.
I wanted to know what you thought, not Siri. Okay, now give me an example of how I feel white privileged.
No, I can say what I want to say, but I want to give a real definition of it. Because once you give a real definition of it, you have an agreed definition. If you get an agreed definition, there's no argument. That's why it's a lot of argument, because nobody can agree on a definition of what something means. And if you look at it, what do I have right here? What's this?
Oh, look, Feasum Rotzi said, I definitely use my white privilege. It's not I'm better than you. It's what I can get away with.
Oh, there we go.
But
boom.
I don't know what I feel like I can get away with.
Feast on the royalty. Boom. You just did it for me.
Give me an example of how I feel like I can get away with more than you can. Give me an example.
Okay. Now, there's stuff that you can go in the store and do that I can't.
Like what?
There's stuff that you can. There's stuff that you can do. If a cop pulled up right now and we were both out there, he would believe you before he believed me. That's white privilege. Regardless if you're right or wrong.
Absolutely. I just used as an example. I said if we were walking
that's white privilege.
I know, but you said that I do things where I use white privilege, and I want to know when.
You do.
Give me an example.
You use white privilege every day. It's ingrained in you. When I say
give me an example.
Just your existence. Your existence and the way you move every day, work, going out, like when I tell you to stop moving around on a lane, like when you're driving, stop swerving. It's because it's not for you to just stop swerving.
So because I'm driving and playing with my Pandora and trying to put on a song, I'm white privileged.
Yep. Because you don't care about a cop pulling you over.
I do care.
No,
I just can't drive straight and play with my phone at the same time.
That's a lie. That's not why you do
it.
Well,
I'm gonna admit the reason I don't care about cops pulling me over here is because I'm related to all of them.
Oh, white privilege. Oh,
that is true, but only in my little town.
I just proved
that is true.
That's God given.
That
is made her say that.
That is true. That is true. But they give me another example.
But you want to know what what happened with black people when they got black people as cops? You want to know what happens to us? You know what the black cop says to us? Yo, why are you trying to mess me up in my job? Don't be doing that. What the hell's wrong with you? That's what they do to us. Our own people, they say, don't use that against me. Oh,
What are you
well,
talking about?
they say as a cop, a black person that's a cop, they say, hey, don't use that against me. Where if I be like, hey, brother, how you doing? Don't use that. I've heard numerous cops say that to me. I'm like, yo, I didn't even mean it. That's my normal talk. Why are you upset at me?
Oh, they don't want you to call him brother? Like they don't want to
Look,
be
prejudice, and if Feast on Her said prejudice is thinking you're better than somebody.
Yeah, which is the same thing as white privilege.
No,
White
it's
privilege
not.
thinks that you're owed and you think that you're better and that you
Oh,
can get special privileges.
You're owed. And you thinking you're better than somebody is something totally different.
In my mind, prejudice and white privilege are kind of on the same
That's
spectrum.
the problem. See, you just proved it. Because
my
the
point
way
is
you're
prejudice
thinking.
is thinking that you're better than somebody else. I hate you. I think that my race is better. I this and that. White privilege is I don't like you. I think that I'm going to get away with more shit because of my color. It's the same lines.
No, it is. It's two different things. You just said two different things.
Well, you and Feast on Royalty can think one thing, and I, with my white privileged ass, can think what I want to think.
See, you just did it. You just
I know. I just did it as a point. I did it as a point. You want to say I'm white privileged, and guess what? I'm going to think what I want to think. But you know what the difference is? I don't have to be white privileged. You're allowed to think your own thoughts too.
I know that. And
so are you black privileged? And obviously you're being white privileged as well.
No, that's not the point. The point is that it started with you doing it.
The point is we got away from the whole topic. The fact is we need to prosecute those cops and they need a lot more than just get fired.
That wasn't it. When is enough going to be enough?
It's getting worse.
And it's not going to stop because people aren't doing the right things. So if something isn't changing, what do they say?
Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Boom.
Was that what you were looking for?
And there you yeah. And you know what? I'm going to end it on it because listen, this is going to be a series and I'm not playing with this because people are going to have to really say how they feel.
Feast on Royalty, the next episode is about me and white privilege. Honestly, we're getting this out there because y'all ain't going to sit there. Y'all ain't going to sit there and talk shit.
Yes.
White privilege.
You got to do it. We can, you know what? I'm going to show you that we don't got black privilege. I will do an episode on white privilege.
Yes, and I want to be there. And I will have my reading done. I will have all my notes. I will look that shit up and I will be ready for you.
Okay, what are you going to say?
I'll be ready. Because if anybody knows me, they know I do not have a white privilege card. You should know that.
You do. You just don't know that you do it. Now, when you said to me, well, you black power, what did I say to you? I said, you're right.
That's my point. That is my point. If you were all pro-black power, you love your people, all this stuff. If I was some racist ass white privilege
I didn't say you were racist.
You wouldn't be with me.
I didn't say you were racist.
Well, if I was some white privilege ass, you wouldn't be with me because it would make you absolutely sick that I get away with shit and you don't get away with it.
Two different things. No, because I'm learned. I'm a learned person. And I'm not going to do that to you because I know you don't know what the hell you're doing. Because you've been tricked, hoodwinked, and bamboozled. Okay? So I know that I
sound like you just don't want to like white people.
Who?
That's what you
I got a million white people. What are you talking about?
You sound
ask white people.
Get him. He sounds like your mom.
Listen, there's white people that know that I love them. That I love them to death.
Do you think that there's people out there that don't use the white privilege card? You better not even say yes.
Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
So do you think that there's white people out there that don't use the white privilege?
Yes.
Oh, so you're telling me that I do?
There's some people that don't.
So you're telling me that you told me I do.
But they learned it over a period of time.
Oh.
Don't get upset at it.
Oh.
It's just the truth.
So
you should love me because I tell the truth.
So you're basically telling me that I go out there thinking that I can get away with shit because I have a white privilege card?
No, that's not what I'm saying. See, now you're taking it somewhere else.
That's what you just said.
That's not what I just said. No, it isn't. I'm telling you, that's not what I mean by it. And you know what? I can correct it even if I didn't say that. What you're saying. I'll say it like this. I'm not saying you're gonna. I say you just have white privilege that's been ingrained in you that you don't even know that you're using. That you use. It's not your fault.
I asked you to give me examples. And all you gave me was one playing Pandora on my phone.
No, I'm gonna. That's a series. That's
all right.
serious.
Well, I hope you come with your examples.
He said, "I'll come and I'll break it on." Yo, they go. And Juddy said, "My mom is way worse." Oh, you ain't seen.
I just cannot believe, out of all people, you would say, out of everybody, that I use the white privilege card, knowing how I am.
Before we got on this, did I tell you that before we were ever online or anything? Yes or no?
Yeah, because I said that shit about the guy at Walmart.
Okay.
Because I personally wouldn't walk around with a gun over my shoulder.
So I don't need an audience. It's just what I'm perceiving, what I'm looking at you do. You don't know. Okay, now
I know that you think the white privilege was because you think before, when this whole conversation started, that I was totally saying that this guy was okay, that he put his foot on his neck, and if he didn't kill him right then and there, it was justified what he did. I know that
but to most it would look like
but
that,
I had to fix myself because sometimes what I say isn't really what I mean. So that's
a true statement.
But I really, really, really want to know what you mean about this white privilege shit.
This is why we're gonna have an episode on it.
Well, when are you gonna have it?
You have to look it up. You have to look it up.
Oh, I'll be ready. When do you want to do it?
Oh, you're really upset right now.
I'm pissed.
That white privilege card got pulled. It's not you though. You're taking it personal.
I just want to know.
It's not personal.
I just want to know because.
And I had to learn not to take what's happening personal, but it is personal. But you got to be able to manipulate and move yourself to where you don't do some irrational. But right now, it's getting past irrational to where somebody just has to do that. The taping is bullshit. It's over. It's dead. You're beating a dead horse with it. Nobody wants to see tape shit anymore.
Okay. Well, you let me know. I'll be ready.
Well, can you say bye to the people?
Bye, people. I hope you tune into the next episode because I'm going to be ready.
You're going to be ready?
Hell
I hope you are.
Oh, I am.
Because you're going to have
I am. I promise you.
Grip. It's the same as pretty women getting more help and attention. Boom, Juddy. That's a good example. Juddy, that was a great example. That was a great example.
But I want to know what I do to be able to play
just think about what I said.
That's what I'm saying. I want to know what I do to pull my, to be able to use my card, like, haha, white privilege.
When I said it to you, what were you doing then at that period of time? Can you remember that?
When you told me I was white privilege?
Yeah.
Because I told you that if I was a black man, I wouldn't be walking around a hick-ass Walmart in the South holding a gun over my shoulder that I just bought in Walmart.
White privilege.
I just made a statement. Like, seriously, with what's going on in the world.
If you didn't have white privilege,
knowing
you wouldn't say
that. You guys are being targeted, okay? Especially in the South. You know that cops are after you. You know that. I'm not saying that you should have to think like this, but in today's world, you have to think like this. Why would you buy a gun? Why would you buy a gun?
You don't have to do that.
Why would you buy a gun and then not leave the store? Why would you buy a gun and then walk around Walmart with the gun that you just purchased, being black in a hick-ass, the biggest hick redneck store, Walmart? I wouldn't do that. And I'm white. I wouldn't do that.
No. Come on.
That's where you said I was white privileged, because I shouldn't think that, oh, he's black, he shouldn't be doing that. I don't think anybody should be doing that, especially black people in the South at Walmart. And that's why you told me I was white privileged.
But I said, but it doesn't have to matter that he has to be black and something's going on to where he can't have a human nature and do what he wants to do, like a white person can do.
I agree.
That's white privilege.
I agree. But you told me that I believed in white privilege because I said he shouldn't have been doing it.
No, I
shouldn't have been.
I said you're making a statement from white privilege. That's what I said to you.
Well, let me ask you
a
question.
You said, how am I white privileged?
Would you do it?
I said, from the statement you made.
Would you do it?
What?
Knowing how these
if I wanted to.
Man, look.
If I wanted to, but a lot of us aren't smart enough to not to do that though.
I'm just saying, the way the world is today, I wouldn't do it. It being white or whatever, a woman that helped pretty
white
hard,
privilege has to be brought out to the forefront, and white people have to say that they think that they're better than before to be even to start to heal. And we have to heal our own self because we've gone through something that Caucasians haven't.
I just said that white privilege is obvious. I said that they're not doing this shit to white people, the cops.
I understand. I'm not saying nothing mad or being or
what are you saying?
putting
They
it.
Gotta bring that out there.
It has to be brought to the table.
It is being brought to the table. No, they're not doing shit about it.
No, that's not being brought to the table. It has to be
talked about.
Because the
table is with a table of white people, and they're not doing nothing. An agreed
definition has to be established, or it will be an argument.
Well, yeah. I agree.
An agreed definition. So people look up agreed definition and what it means and tell me, does that have to be put on the table to be talked about white privilege and black people being amongst that, and if we should be separated?
Well,
if they don't want to deal with it.
Now that you put it like that.
I'm telling you, it's the only solution.
Okay, so
to the problem that we have.
You want to go buy some acres of land and welcome people?
I told you I want over 100.
Huh?
I want over 100 acres of land.
You want over 100 acres of land, and you're going to call everybody in like the Black Moses?
No, I didn't say that. See, you're putting words in my mouth.
You just said you wanted over 100 acres of land.
But I didn't say I wanted to put everybody on there and I wanted to be Moses. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said, I want my immediate family to be okay, and then I want to help my people. Everybody. Okay, you don't see
you think 100 acres is enough?
What, for my family?
For the people that you want to help.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. It's more than enough. It's way more than enough. Because you have to be able to rule the land the way. It
sounds like a cult.
No, it has to be. Well, shit, within America, been a cult for years.
I agree.
Because they do stuff. And that's when I say.
I just think that they should have like a militia. They should have people.
But they're already doing it. Caucasians are going to go against their own government.
Yeah, we are.
Because they don't like the way it's going, because they're looking at it from an 85%, 10%, and 5%. And those people that are going to try to protect America aren't looking at it like that. They're looking at it, we're white, this is what we built, this is ours, who the hell are you? That's the way they look at it. I'm telling you.
Racism has been going on for centuries. Do you think now it's going to stop?
What's a century? A century is 100 years.
Okay. I know that. It's 100 years.
Okay, so we've been dealing with it for what? We're going on what? 400 and what? Almost 50 years?
I don't know. I just said centuries.
Up from servitude, slavery. No, we've actually been up 100 years from slavery.
Oh, we're not even going to get into the slavery thing because I don't.
There's a lot of things that are going into it. That's why I told Juddy earlier. I told Juddy, I said, yo, this is so many subjects in one. But what I wanted to tell you, and it's not egotistical, that I told you, it was divide and conquer what they were going to come with. They were going to use and race bait and do a whole bunch of things. If you don't believe me, look up.
I just don't understand somebody with your views and how, outspoken you are with a white ass woman.
Because I fell in love with you and I love you for you.
In my white privilege?
You do some things in white privilege, you do. And there's a lot of people that say, hey, how can you be like that and say these certain things and you're with a white woman? Hey, you know what you could do? You could kiss my whole black ass.
Black and Puerto Rican.
Because I could do whatever the hell I want to do. And I know the damn truth. And if you want to say that, you can say it to me. Because we're going to have a honest hour. You can say whatever you want to me and I won't get mad at you.
Oh, shit. Okay, we need to end it on that note. A minute. Oh, damn. That is never going to happen. That is never going to happen.
Yes, it will. Ask John Lawal. All right. But thank you, everybody. Like we came in, the Weekly Scheme Podcast is on all social media platforms. Follow it. We love y'all. And we're going to get digging into this deep. Thank you, everybody that came out and showed love. And y'all continue to don't let this divide and conquer get you. Don't let it get you.
Apparently, it's got me, and I don't even know how it got me.
Because it's just something that was laid down there, and you got to get over it. 6,000 years of so much stuff happening, you don't even understand.
My people weren't even here when the slaves started. We were over there in Italy. So are you going to tell me it's ingrained in me?
Oh, you don't even want to do that.
And if you really want to get it technical, I'm Sicilian, and they've been saying that I'm black, and half the Italians hate me anyway. They hate Sicilians. So really, how are you going to tell me that I'm prejudiced?
You're taking it personal.
I am taking it personal. You said that it was ingrained in me. White privilege. It's not ingrained in me. I'm kind of in the same boat as you.
Jody said, I get called a double negative.
I'm done. Hey. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm done.
Are you okay? It'll be okay. No, give me a high five.
No.
Come on, give me a high five.
No, because you're full of shit.
How am I full of shit?
Because white privilege. Is that some bullshit?
Hey, you know what? That's how I know it's really it does exist, because you're getting upset about it.
Oh no, I know it does exist, but you ain't gonna talk shit to me and say it exists in me.
No, I said that it was, you used it, but you didn't know you were using it. That's why it's great that this is being taped live, because I can go back and I say, hey, look at that. And you'll be like, oh, wow, you're right.
Then let's rewind it, because I really want to be like, oh, wow.
Well, then go ahead and do it. Because all you're doing, because your white privilege is making you very upset right now. And you'll be okay one day when you finally say, I can let it go, and I can talk it like I walk it, because I know what I'm talking about. But y'all have a good night. Follow us on all social media platforms. And Manson Moose is going to be coming out with his good inspiration and motivational things. But thank you for watching the Weekly Scheme Podcast. And y'all have a good night. Thank you. And see y'all later.